Hello and welcome, gang, to another Credible Veteran Report. My name's Craig Slate, and I am joined by my regular and good friend co-host, Mr. Matt Mandel. Thank you guys all for joining us today on another exciting Credible Veteran Report. Guys, on this week's episode, you know we're going to talk freaking weather, and boy, we got more weather to talk about. Maybe not as exciting as in the past, but we do have some hurricanes, and they have moved west. Plus, there is some things going on up north of the United States here, up in Canada. It looks like there's a little railway situation taking place, a strike, if you will. And then our friends out of Dallas, Texas, where they're based, 7-Eleven has partnered up with a company to get a little greener at the store level. So, everybody, welcome to a show today, or welcome to the show today, and an exciting episode. And Matt, welcome to you, sir. How you doing, my man?
I'm doing very well. I'm not going to say finer than frog's hair. I can't make it three shows in a row.
I was waiting for finer than frog hair. I was going to call you.
I know
frog
you were.
Hair fine.
I gotta switch it up a little bit. Maybe I'm doing slick. I've got the head nice and shaved up, and I'm slick.
You're slicker than Kojak.
Slicker than Kojak, I suppose. I'm not a detective though.
So yeah, I don't know.
I'm a produce detective or a weather detective, I suppose.
I wonder if our editor or half of our audience even knows who the hell Kojak is.
that is a bit of a dated reference. Granted, yeah, you're talking two guys that have gray beards here. So
yeah. I noticed it. Yours is. Are you dyeing your beard gray? I mean, what's up with that?
We call this experience.
Yeah,
I seem to be getting a lot of it lately.
Yeah, it looks like you are in definitely knee deep in the experience category for sure. So all right. So it's a couple of weeks later. How's the healing going? You out lifting weights and running crazy, or what you doing there?
I haven't lifted any weights, just small children. But doctor gave me the green light. I'm back to cycling. I've gone 3-4 days in the last week or so. Kind of started before I was supposed to, and you and I talked about it last Wednesday. I was enrolled in a pickleball league.
Yeah, we didn't talk about that. We didn't talk about that on the show because we didn't do a show last week, but we did talk about it. So I am, as you know, super excited about you, pickleball, the league. I mean, talk to us about pickleball real quick before we get off into the heavy stuff.
It's oversized ping pong for elder folk. That's just the easiest way I can explain it.
Yeah.
My wife wrapped me into it. She said, "Hey, I want to do this," and so of course I said, "Sure, let's go ahead and do it." Now that said, of the foursome, the round robin we had last week, I was the best player on the court.
Oh wow! Okay.
That doesn't say much about me, more so my competition, but I don't know. We'll see how it goes.
You got to let me know. We need a credible vegetable pickleball game. You and I, mano a mano on the pickleball. I mean, you got the size, you got the youth, you got all the advantages going into this game. So I'm just going to set the stage with that.
See, now I think you're trying to be a shark or a ringer and give me some sense of false confidence here.
No false confidence, man. I'm telling you, I'm sure you're going to be proficient at it. So, yeah, it's a great game. I looked at something came across through Stata or something, and I was looking at the growth of that game. And everybody, I mean, they've been saying it's like the number one sport or growing sport in the U.S. for a couple of years now. Dude, that's like, it's going, I mean, according to what I was looking at, it's crazy the number of people over the last 5 years that have come into the game.
So, and it's still a mostly U.S. phenomenon. We had talked about this in prior conversation. So paddle has not really taken off in the U.S., but that seems to be, the pickleball equivalent across the world, except for the U.S., right?
Of course.
However, I read somewhere that both pickleball and paddle are in conversations to be included for the 2028 Olympics.
Hey, now.
So
Are they going to have a senior edition of that or division, you think?
do they have like a silver Olympics for the older folks? I don't know.
Maybe I
to look
can
into.
Yeah, because I should be officially above that 6-0 mark by then.
Is it 60 or
I
65?
got well.
You may have to have another 5 years of eating off the Denny's senior menu.
I'll be knocking on the door, but it won't be quite there in 2020. But you know what? I'm going to start. I'm changing my whole. I'm going to start training for that. Be the oldest and the first guy in the 2028 Olympics for the United States. Or maybe you know what? Maybe what I should do. You know what's a better plan is I get a dual citizenship in another country where they're not playing pickleball. Maybe Mexico. Maybe I get me a dual citizenship down in Mexico. Go to, play all my pickleball here and then go represent Mexico in the damn pickleball. Freaking genius.
You got you got time, but you better start planning and training now.
Amen to that. Amen to that. Well, look, hey, out in the Pacific, buddy, in the beautiful Hawaiian Islands, they're up against it with a couple of, they're not hurricanes in the Pacific, right? They call them cyclones, or do you get to call them hurricanes in the Pacific?
They would be they're typhoons in the Eastern Pacific. So in the U.S., we still call them tropical storms or hurricanes. And because Hawaii is part of the U.S. and the Central Pacific, we still do use that nomenclature.
Got you. I got you. But we've got Hone, which has already passed, and looks like it brought plenty of rain. It was some severe flooding, power outages, all that good stuff. And then we have Gilma, which is a couple of days out, or I believe would it be Hilma if it was an Espanol?
I think if it were an Espanol, but I believe it's Gilma.
Yeah.
Gilma
I was just busting out my Spanish there,
You've been practicing. All the time you're spending on your Spanish, you should probably just focus on pickleball instead. Although if you're going to compete for Mexico, you may need the Spanish.
I got to speak a little bit. I got to know it's Hilma, right, and not Gilma. But anyway, and then I think you were saying we got that one coming, and then we got a third one. Is that right?
Third tropical storm behind Gilma. That's Hector. However, Hector looks like it's going to fizzle before it actually reaches the Hawaiian Islands. But fun fact, I am actually going to be able to experience Gilma firsthand, as I will be in the Hawaiian Islands starting tomorrow afternoon.
Oh, you dog. So you'll be right there. Are you sure? What are you going to be able to fly in?
Yeah. So
no problem.
The path for Gilma isn't actually going to reach the islands until Friday evening, Saturday morning.
Okay.
The current track actually has it going north of the islands. So we'll see how much it actually hits. It should be a tropical depression by the time it passes over. So probably a decent amount of rain and maybe 20, 30 mile an hour winds tops. So, Friday night we'll probably just hang back, watch a movie and chill in our condo instead of going out. I won't be surfing. No. The tides would be probably perfect for it, but
I bet you it's going to be amazing. You really shouldn't pass that up, Matt. Get out in the thick of it. Get out there with the kids, baby.
Maybe go wrestle a dolphin, and I can ride a dolphin through a tropical storm. That'll be one for the history books.
Well, I don't know, so obviously Hawaii does a fair amount of produce, but the majority of it stays out there. I mean, it was a time when Hawaii was the number one joint for pineapples, but years ago, Costa Rica took over that mantra. So not a lot of those pines come out of Hawaii over here, but it will definitely affect. What do you think would probably be the biggest crop that they're growing over there?
I know the answer, and I would never have guessed. I mean, like I would have, you mentioned pineapples, maybe mangoes or bananas. It's not something that seems or sounds probable, right? Or papaya.
Yeah.
But Craig, what is the major export crop in Hawaii? Tell us.
Major into the mainland United States. I can't speak for they may export other stuff too, but into the United States, it is basil, my friend. Basil. These boys over there in Hawaii are growing 13.1 million pounds annually of freaking basil. Now, here's another. So I looked up. I thought, well, it's 13.1 million. I mean, it sounds like a hell of a lot to me. I mean, and I eat my share of basil, but I'm not sure I consume a pound a year. Yeah, I mean, exactly. But apparently there's a lot. But apparently also all these fancy dancy little AI apps, they can't tell you how many freaking pounds are consumed in the United States. So I don't know. But I do think statistically, I think it's about 40% of the entire U.S. mainland consumption, because 99% of what they grow, they send over here to the mainland. And I think it's about 40% of the basil in the U.S. mainland comes out of Hawaii. So big freaking number, although I'm guessing with all this water, with all this rain, that may be affected over the next couple of weeks. That's just a guess.
That sounds correct. That it would
sounds plausible.
Not plausible. There you go. I still don't know about that figure. That's just, it seems off to me. It's just that's a lot of basil.
Yeah, I know what you're going to say. And look, it's based on Hawaii, unless the Hawaii statistic folks over there, their ag department, unless they're making stuff up, that's right out of the horse's mouth, as they say back in Texas.
Maybe they're growing something other than basil and they're smoking that before they come up with their statistics. That just seems
maybe just to. Gotcha. All right. Well, enough on. Well, you know what? There are a few things. Weather, has cooled a little bit around the country. Northwest, we've had some rains. We've had some monsoons here. I tell you what, here in Tucson, it does not feel like I'm in the desert. I feel like that I'm in some kind of a tropical paradise with the rain that we're getting here.
Last Friday, that storm that came through was ridiculous, and probably started around 3:30 in the afternoon, and it rained nice and heavy through till 6 o'clock or so.
Yeah,
and we had a river running through the driveway and in the backyard.
So you didn't have a river before? You didn't buy a house on the river?
We're next to the wash, but I did not go out to see if the wash was flowing. I'm sure it was probably chugging along as well. I'm more concerned with, can I get the cars in and out of the driveway?
Well, that's probably
driving through the wash.
Yeah, no, for sure. And the folks in the Midwest, or if you look at Texas and over in the Southeast, they've yet to experience much of the wonders of beautiful, cooler temps out that way. My gosh, it's still smoking hot and humid. Everybody I talk to back there says still extreme heat.
Well, and I wish I had good news, but the long-term forecast says each of the next 3 weeks through the entire Midwest and western part of the U.S. is going to be, anywhere from 3 to 5 degrees above average. So we will continue to be warmer than normal, although it got up to 93 here today, which was odd. It was beautiful.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, the weather here since I've been back, I mean, it's been pretty good. I mean, I'm a little bit skewed. I was in the Northwest for a few days this last week, so I didn't experience everything in the heat wave. So maybe my vantage my view is skewed slightly, but either way, weather relatively calm here on the mainland. Nothing big to talk about. Just the Hawaiian folks, they've got a big deal going their way. So,
well, and if these storms do in fact come through and fizzle out, it's looking like we may have a Labor Day with 0 named storms globally.
globally.
Globally, 0 named storms globally, which has happened like once or twice since they started keeping track and naming these storms. So there is that.
There's that factoid. Take that with you, kids. And I think Hawaii getting hit by a couple of tropical storms or hurricanes back to back is fairly rare as well. So a couple of rarities going on. And speaking of, I guess I don't know if it's a rarity. It's new. It's new news to me. But apparently the train department up in good old Canada is under a little pressure. Canadian government has had to step in on this dispute. There's a rail worker strike that's going on, and they're going to be sent. They've been sent to arbitration. And you heard about this?
I did read a little bit about it, and it kind of surprised me with as polite and friendly as Canadians are supposed to be. I never thought that they would actually come to this point, but it seems like conditions are not what they ought to be. And so rail workers went on strike. And as anybody that traveled through Canada knows, there's long stretches of Canadian wilderness between towns, and rail is it's a big factor as far as how they get goods from east to west. So this could have some very serious ramifications, and not just for what goes on in Canada, but quite a bit actually gets railed down into the United States as well. So apart from the fact that goods may not be moving, you also need to think about containers, right? So containers are moving back and forth, and if these trains aren't moving, then all of a sudden we may find ourselves in a temporary container shortage. And everybody knows all it takes is a few days to mess up what should be a fairly well-oiled machine to have ripple effects, weeks out from the actual incident. So definitely something worth keeping an eye on.
Yeah, no, I mean, and like I say, it is the ripple effects or the ancillary things that you don't think about. I mean, within this, there's not a ton of the specialty crops or the stuff that we're in that really moves on train. Most of that's still done by, trucks. But grain, like you said, I mean, any of the grains that they're doing or whatever, they move all of that by train. And those folks have got to move their products, so they're going to switch to trucks. So that's going to put pressure on the trucking industry, which what our folks up in Canada that are moving products down here, it's going to affect them. But for the farmers here in the U.S. and wherever, that's taking fertilizer out of Canada, they do a fair amount of fertilizer in Canada, and that stuff moves by rail, and it's definitely going to affect the fertilizer business and potentially drive. At the end of the day, any kind of disruption in the supply chain ultimately drives up cost and likely drives up shortages in different places because you can't move it as efficiently. So
something to keep an eye on.
Definitely likely to have an effect on us as well. But there is some positive news coming out of Canada. That's not just the rail strike, but Loblaws. They're doing a little pilot program. Weird deal is, so this is the thing. What do you call a store that doesn't have a name?
You don't.
That's what I'm thinking.
How do you Google that? Just put nothing in there and hit enter and see what shows.
Yeah, so they've got this new project. It's called No Name Store, and I'm like, well, but if it's called No Name, the name is No Name. So it's kind of what would you call that? That's not a paradox. It's a quandary, but I don't know. But but here's the deal. The name of the store is No Name, which means, well, it doesn't have a name.
Or it has a name, but it's not a no name, but it is. But it's not.
Whatever. That's not really the positive news. I just thought that was kind of humorous when I read that. It's like No Name, but yeah, you ultimately have a name. So that's enough on that. But the beauty of this store, the good news is, folks, we'll get through the No Name store, is they have announced this. It's a store with kind of reduced down services. the products coming in. So this is really where the name of the store actually comes and where the no name falls in, Matt, is the products that they're going to be offering will be no name products, meaning no manufacturing names, no branding, that kind of stuff, right? So their intent with this is to, take some of the work out of it, right? Make it where it's super efficient, limited supply, no refrigeration. So drive the cost down as much as you can, and then offer to the consumers the best value possible that they can go in and get. So these no-name stores, which it's a pretty interesting concept, but they're looking to save consumers as much as 20% on some items that they've targeted. So,
yeah, I mean, yeah, it shouldn't be surprising considering the inflationary effects we've talked about numerous times here, and this is definitely one way to target that. Go in, get your bottle of ketchup, not Heinz, but just ketchup. So I'm assuming the bottle's just going to say ketchup on it. Yeah, this is the way they're going to.
Well, yeah, there's pictures here for those of you that are watching, and I'm sure our fine editor, Mr. Zuby, will be putting these up. But you can see the bins are labeled no name, and based on the packaging, looks like it's no name packaging. So the name is no name.
I'm gonna be up in the Toronto area in about a month, so I will have to see if I can find one of these. I don't know if these are actually up and running just yet. I know Loblaws has a few no-name items in their stores already, so this is going to be an entire retail concept based around these items, I suppose.
Yeah, so it's a test run from these guys. They're going to see how these go and see how it works out. But interesting, from the produce space. I mean, obviously, no refrigeration. It's going to be kind of a limited. It's going to be your hard goods, the potatoes, the onions, those folks. Probably some bananas out there. But yeah, so interesting concept. Interesting to see how they'll go. Now, with all trades, Matt, there's always another side, and the other side is our friends over at Whole Foods, and they're weighing in, and their comment is, look, folks are wanting products that feel good, right? They're looking for. I think that one of their executives, that was the quote, feel good products is what they're looking for. Despite the food pricing increases, or despite seeing inflated food prices, consumers are turning and still focusing on premium products with more nutrients, less sodium, and less sugar. So it sounds like, at Whole Foods, at least they're seeing a consumer that, yeah, we see the inflation, we see it out there, but we're going to focus on our health and focus on the quality of the product, I guess, first and foremost, and kind of deal with some of the inflation pressure. So that a little bit different approach that they're seeing out there.
It's Whole Foods has always been somewhat directed at that premium consumer anyway, right? So they're a little, I don't want to say inflation resistant, but they're not the people that are going to be as sensitive to a little bit of inflation. So it would make sense then that they would be positioning themselves in this. I really hope that we can actually get maybe Motley Crue's Dr. Feelgood playing over the this little segment here, because that just it ties in so nicely.
That's a good call. You know what? And Zuby, we don't give a damn about freaking, trade rights, whatever. Let them send a cease and desist. I mean,
as long as it's like us. Well, I mean, who's watching this anyway? Right?
I was going to say, well, just say, if somebody from Motley Crue actually tunes in and we get a letter that we used one of their songs, please
let us know.
Let us know. We will feel like
I'm a Motley Crue fan, so you can go ahead and come after me personally if you like.
Come after Matt Mandel. I mean, I'll give you his email. Just give me a jingle. So, but anyway, yeah. So that's a good call, Matt. Up, your little camera has zoomed in over there. It's a little tricky.
I can't take a drink.
Hey, but just remind folks, inflation in the food prices. Remember that, folks. Overall inflation's up 2.9%, while the annual food rate 1.1% annual rate. So just remember from our report a couple of weeks ago that, we're coming in on the food. We're getting more back to a very sizable rate of inflation. So, Well, you know what? We want to get more people eating fresh produce. That is the mantra of the industry. We're all out there doing it. And, the best way to get people, in my opinion, to eat more produce is to make it more accessible and give them something good that they can get quick and easy. And the folks over at Plenty and at 7-Eleven, well, they're doing just that out in California. 7-Eleven and Plenty Unlimited. They're teaming up. Plenty's an indoor grower. I know you know that. Maybe not everybody does, but Plenty's one of the indoor growers out there. But they're teaming up to supply produce throughout all the 7-Eleven locations in California. There's going to be 2 salad options, Matt, that you can flip into your California 7-Eleven and pick up. It's going to be coming out of Plenty's California Compton Indoor Farm, and which are already sold. I guess they're already doing this at 1,000 stores. So I like it.
More convenience, more options. I mean, yeah, I hope this doesn't go the way of gas station sushi. And they rotate their stock and keep these fresh, but it's I'm sure California is probably a good place to have grab and go salads at the 7-Eleven. Tend to be slightly more health conscious than some of the other places in the United States. So I don't know that I'm in a mood for salads when I go to a 7-Eleven. Not that I go often, but options, man. Gotta have options.
How often are you shopping ever at 7-Eleven for anything?
That's what I'm saying. If I'm going to 7-Eleven, it's probably all I'm gonna say is it's probably after hours, and I'm not in the mood for a salad.
No, I understand that, but what I'm saying is there are folks that are at construction or whatever, they're sliding in there. They're going to get them a dog or get them one of those fried stinking, I don't know what that thing is they got on there in a little rotor rack. You know what? That's what I'm saying is they got an option now, right? And fact that it's from an indoor grower there relatively close by. I mean, it should be super fresh, should be ready to rock and roll. I don't know. I think it's a good concept. I'm like you. I'll see how it goes because your typical 7-Eleven consumer, I'm saying, I don't know. What do I know about the typical 7-Eleven consumer?
Maybe you're generalizing here, but
I am generalizing. Maybe they're all
started that, but
but you know what? They did it at the fast food. You know what? Wendy's didn't always sell a dadgum salad. McDonald's didn't always sell a salad. They made the switch. Hats off, in my opinion, to the folks at 7-Eleven and Plenty for putting this together. And, ideally, I think that they'll sell a few salads. There'll be people that's like, you know what? I'm stopped. You know what? Maybe you and I will say from now on, you know what? 7-Eleven carries a salad. I'm swinging in there to get my freaking lunch today. That's what we're going to be saying, Matt.
I'll keep it in the back of my mind that if I want a salad, 7-Eleven is on the menu.
That's the place to go. All right. Hey, and we talked about the weather. It is, I think, for just about everybody, for whatever reason, it is the season that everybody looks forward to, and it is the fall season. And had my first fantasy football draft here in this past Sunday. Got our next one coming up. We've got one coming up in a few weeks. I guess not a few weeks, few days at this point.
Tell me you didn't pick Dak Prescott.
I will tell you, I did not pick Dak. In fact, the kicker is the only person I picked from the Cowboys.
He's probably one of the only reliable people on the team, and honestly, he'd probably be the highest point scorer on the team. So,
well, yeah, I mean, he nailed that 66-yarder in the preseason game, and I'm like, yep. That's going to be where Dallas will be kicking from most of the time, and so he's proved he can do it. So let's hope he keeps it up. So, but anyway, I didn't really. But at fall, I want to bring that up. Fall is here, and the National Mango Board, man, this is freaking genius. They have partnered with the Florida State Athletics, and they're going to be doing, so the National Mango Board, Florida State University Athletics, they're announcing this program. It looks like it's a renewal program, but they're going to be doing, mango themed promotions at football games, right? And so they're going to have mango treats, giveaways, all sorts of, that's, man, we in the produce business, especially if you're in the fruit business, you should be partnering up with these guys. That's how Gatorade got famous. They freaking gave them a bunch of free Gatorade, and next thing you know, every freaking high school in the country.
Different university. That was not Florida State.
That it's a
Florida
good
Gators.
Point. It's good point. But it's the same. It's the same state.
Is it now? Florida State and the University of Florida in the same state. Wow.
Just so you didn't know that.
But I will say, the National Mango Board, they make an amazing mango margarita. And if they put those out there, that would be a hit.
So we need to get with the U of A, and we need to do cucumber infused margaritas or cucumber infused drinks. We'll just come up with something. Sun-fed cucumber infused drinks. Everybody gets one on the way into the game. We would be a freaking hit.
I don't know if it would actually increase cucumber consumption outside of what we're serving there. But hey, that would be a good marketing promo if we could score that.
Why don't you call one of your old professors or call somebody over at U of A and see what we can do to kick that off?
The athletic director I knew is no longer there, so I can't call him. But I'm sure it's probably an entirely different department within the university anyway.
Well, Snoop Dogg has taken over the bowl that's going to be taking place here in Tucson. So I think Snoop Dogg.
Looking forward to the Gin and Juice Bowl.
Gin and Juice Bowl is what it's going to be called. And so, oh my gosh, gin and cucumber gin, the gin and juice, the gin and cuke. We got to get on that, Matt. I don't know. You know what? We've been inspired by the Mango Board. So thank you guys.
And Snoop.
And Snoop, of course. Yeah. All right. Well, let's get into the market reports real quick. Let's take everybody down through, things over in beautiful. We'll start down in Mexico. We're very familiar with, particularly the Baja, where a lot of stuff's coming out of. And we are in the cucumber space for sure, seeing some old crop, new crop, some transitions. There is around the U.S. With the colder weather, we're seeing production slow down, but that cucumber market has really kicked back up, and I think it's going to be pretty hot over the next several weeks.
Yeah, it's been depressed for a few weeks, so I'm happy to see it finally showing signs of life again. I mean, I guess it was 2 weeks ago when we last did our report. We were definitely struggling with the pricing there, but it's looking much better than it was. I definitely see that market continuing to strengthen. The month of September should be a very good month as far as market pricing goes.
Yeah. So those dudes, if you're shopping for cucumbers out there, be looking for somewhere between 22 and 24 on your super selects, my friends, and you can get in the teens if you want to take a little less quality. But I do think that, going to be tough to find. But another item that's high on our list is the squash market. And, you mentioned last time we talked that we're getting close to the double digits. Well, the Zook is in the double digit range. Yes, sir. Woo! Hallelujah. We are firm 10 to 12 and climbing at this point in time. Gray squash has been just a champ through the summer. It is held. I mean, it's been, 15 pretty much all summer long, right?
Yeah, I mean, it used to be that anytime gray squash would get up to $16, movement would just stop. I mean, we've been bouncing along that number pretty much the entire summer. Great quality, decent volumes. I don't. That may very well just be a sign of global demand increasing. We've talked about it however many times. The gray squash is, in my opinion, I believe yours as well, the best tasting of the soft squashes. So maybe that's a sign of things to come. And the more people that try it, the more people we get eating it, the better.
I'd like to think, Matt, it's the show here, because we've talked about it quite often, and I think maybe we're driving some of that demand.
I think that's a fair statement.
Yeah. So hats off to us. Hey, and then of course yellow's been strong. It's stayed in there. It's been a solid 15. It's a solid 15 to 17. But one that's you know can be in anywhere, and sometimes not very good, and then sometimes you can't find it. But that's the hard squash. It's a solid $20 to $22 bill. So the hard squash folks are enjoying some pretty good markets as well.
And that's historically thought of as a fall and winter item. We've had this discussion. We didn't want to deal with it in the spring and summer. Had a
Yeah.
couple offers and deals on the table, and we said, yeah, you know what, let's not. And maybe we're influencing that market as well. Not being in it, Sunfed not being in the hard squash business is what's driving that market. But it has been 20 plus pretty much all summer long. So
Yeah.
good for them.
Next year we're getting in it, so we'll be sure.
We'll destroy the market.
Exactly.
We'll look back a year from now and go, yeah, we called it.
Yeah, for sure. Exactly. Exactly. And for what it's worth, the organics, it's it when you got the conventional stuff where it's been, the organics always going to be significantly better, and it's definitely been strong pretty much through the deal. It hasn't gotten out of the 20s. In fact, it's been the mid 20s pretty much across the board through the deal. But
Both
on
green
that
and
side,
yellow.
yeah.
Yep.
But with that tightening cuke market, you're also seeing a tightening of the organic cukes. We were talking a little bit about some softness a couple of weeks back, but that softness is over. Reports I got, some of the cool temps that we were talking about, some of those cold fronts, have had an effect, at least in the eastern part of the country, where they're kind of getting ready to go on some new stuff. And the word is that they've been delayed, but they expect to start next week, and they're gonna pop out from what it sounds like a little bit below where the market's at, but they're still going to be 2022 what they're coming out with. And stuff out of Cali, it's 22-24 on the 36s.
Yeah, and I mean, we've always reliably said the first 3 weeks of September, you're looking $20+ markets, and the market definitely reacted a lot earlier this year. We'll see how long that holds with all these new entrants into the market, but the demand is definitely there right now. Demand is what drives pricing.
Yeah, and demand on that organic cuke. I mean, between the juice, all the juicing goes on. So much of that juice goes organic cuke, and then just consumers, switching over to it. I mean, with the prices getting up on regular cucumbers, the at retail, your cost of switching to organics not that high. So yeah, you're seeing the organic cuke really enjoy some nice growth for sure. So, and then we've talked. What's that?
I said, "What's up next?"
Next up is green bells, and
Oh.
they've come in. They've come in. They've gotten a little more normal, and I think with the districts over in Gilroy starting up, we're finally going to see enough production here and around the country that we could be looking at sub $20 markets on the green bells here in the next couple of weeks. I actually think this market, which has been abnormally high for particularly at the front end of the summer and through most of it, I think we're going to finally see some normality come back into that market. What do you think?
Man, I hope so. That's being a buyer in the summer months, definitely could use that market to cool off just a hair. But I hope that. Again, I hope the growers made some money this year because markets have been on fire.
They have indeed, and then the tomatoes, which we talked early on before we got summer started, how good the tomato deal typically is on the Romas through the summer and this, that, and other. And we had that one little spell on the Roma deal that got nasty, but they've been enjoying some pretty good markets, and it's still a pretty solid market across the board. But supplies seem to be at least in line with where it needs to be. We're not looking at anything. We're not looking at an imbalance between demand and supply across most of these categories.
Yeah, I was just going to say, it seems that we're at a good level with things moving. Don't hear too many reports of really high color salsa tomatoes flowing around and killing markets. So great tomatoes, bulks, $18.95, clams at $10.95, Romas, low teens, low to mid teens. So, it's a good price where you can still get a value at retail, assuming that they're pricing things properly, and the growers will make money at that price as well. So,
yeah, all the way around. That one's kind of found itself in a good balance, and hopefully it can stay there because, like I say, everybody wins at that, right? All the way down to the consumer. So, won't spend too much time on the eggplant, folks, but boy, it's been a good place to be as well. It's still holding at $24 to $26 mark, and quality is really the big question. If you've got quality, then you can get the pop.
for sure.
So, well, bud, I think that's pretty much the rundown. That's a whole show. All the info I got. I don't know what else you got to bring to the party, but that's all I got for today.
And I think we've covered just about everything here.
So, and I think it's all very credible.
And vegetable.
And vegetable.
Like.
So I guess we met our goal.
There you go. Check.
All right, buddy. Well, look, I guess you better go pack your Speedo and get ready for.
I've had that packed for weeks. I am ready to go.
Yeah, you probably just wear a Speedo all the time, right? Just in case you're near a beach, you can just rip your britches off and head out.
Purple sequins, man, 24/7.
So, hey, bring pictures for the next time. Are you coming back? You gonna be doing this? Are we doing this show for next week? Are you gonna do it from Hawaii?
I will be back. I will be back. I almost said back stateside, as if Hawaii is not part of the United States. I will be back mainland next Wednesday, so we will definitely be able to have our normal report. My tan may be a little better. Hopefully, there will be a little less shine on the top of my head. Maybe a little more gray in my beard, depending on how the kids behave. But we'll take it from there.
Well, you guys don't have too many Mai Tais over there, and fall off in the ocean or anything. And do hunker down for the tropical storm that is, and you give us a live report. Right, when you come back, you're going to be able to give us a live weather report of what it was all about like there in Hawaii.
Reporters I was going to say with my hair blowing sideways, all that hair I don't have, but you can imagine what it would be like.
I got you, buddy. All right, folks, we're going to get out of here today. I don't know, like us. I think you can click on something on the internet there to say you like us. You can
like, subscribe, hit the little bell. Mount the
algorithm. Is there a bell? Is that what it is?
That's how you subscribe. You hit the bell.
Would you guys hit the bell, please? Hit the bell. I know there's a thumb. Isn't there a thumb that they can hit? Yeah. So hit that thumb that's up. Don't hit the down thumbs. That's no good for us. But you feel free to comment. We probably won't see it, but we'd love for you to comment just so we know somebody's out there. So.
You read the comments? What comments?
Yeah. Exactly. Anyway, thank you guys, everybody, for listening. We appreciate it. We hope you enjoy the show. Matt, take care of yourself. Everybody, we are out. Take care. We're gone.
Adios.